Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back into my channel. So in this lab, we're going to create a demo of a runbook and an automation account in a runbook. So the first thing you have to do before you create a runbook is to create an automation account. So you can go to the search and just type in um automation. So there we go, automation account. So then you're gonna just hit create automation account. So then let's just put it let's just put it into a resource group. You could either create one or just do an existing one. Now you could give it a name of let's say um run book run book one, and let's say we put it on the East US location, right? I mean region. So what we just did is we put it in a storage, I mean on a resource group, and we'll put it on a region. So we just leave everything else as default, and we're gonna hit create and review. So it's past the validation. Let's go ahead and just create it. Now this now that the account has actually used to run this automation account, so it's not associated with my user account that's created. It's generated its own account that's the right to actually run the service. So, so you'd almost always want to have the account. If you don't, you have to go back and define it later. Um, so so let's go to resource. So there go our runbook that we created. So now we're going to do, so what we're going to do is to create a pretty small runbook. We're going to create a runbook, and all it's going to do is the list of dates. So let's go ahead and just click on diagnosis solve problem. So by the way, we don't really need that right now. So let's just hit run straight to runbook. So if we hit runbook, now you see there these are these are help to understand the concept of how Runbooks actually works. For example, um, there's two options here. So we have Azure Automation tutorial with, see if I can slide this over just a little bit so you can see. And it says Azure Automation tutorial with identity, and the other one is Azure Automation tutorial with identity graphic. So um um now example, if I were to click the the first one that's with PowerShell, and there's an option here that says like start something. So start something. I apologize for that. So you notice that there's an option here to start something, and well, say yes. And if I click on the, let's just start and see. Oh, just a second. Um, Status is publish, establish. Um, PowerShell. Yep. So we basically have this. Um, Click here to add tags. Let's see. Just hit cancel. And we can, so we have the Azure subscription. You can edit. You don't have any recent projects. Um, so let's see. We hit start this Runbook and see something. I see we have like the status is on queue. When is Azure, the winners. Now let's check the output here and see something real quick. Now you see, um, so if the output, so it won't have any output yet. It says logging into Azure, it's almost done. And so that is completed now, and it's that is actually does is the list of your resources. So it logging into Azure. It's logging into Azure. As you could see, logging into Azure, and I have Azure Channel Cloud, Azure, and stuff like that. So Um, so the Azure is showing on the resources groups, but I can see all the resources in my, browser resources group, right? Now, let's click back here and we're gonna go and click on run book. And I can create the run book. I can give it a name, say for instance, if I were to call that date, and I go on the run book type. Let's just let's just make this either Python, PowerShell, or PowerShell, whatever, graphic PowerShell. So let's just make this PowerShell and let's just hit create. I'm sorry, let's see if we select a runtime version. I'm not really sure what that. It says during the runbook execution PowerShell modules targeting 7.2 runtime version will be used, so please make sure that the requirement PowerShell. Okay. Oh, so now it's created, right? Now, if I type in there, like get the time, and I could save that here. And I could click on test test pane. So I'm going to, so it start the run book. We're gonna just test that to see if that works. So it's going, if it works, so it's going to display today's date and time. That's we. So we have to click start. It says stream will display when the test completes. So you see here that parameters, no output parameter. So it's complete. Then what do we got here? It says get time, get time. It's not recognized as a name. The common net function, the script or whatever. Let's check. Was that get time I typed in? I should have typed get date. So let's back in there. It's not get time. I'm sorry. It should be get date. And let's save it. Then we're gonna test bin. It says click start to begin the test. Run stream will display when the test completed. So let's just click start. I apologize for that. So it was a typo. So maybe I had in my mind it's going to display the time, the date and time. So I just put get time, not get time. It should be get date. So just bear with me. It's running. And this, now you could see that it displayed the day and the time for today. So it works. So there's an option to, so let's just X out of here. So we know it execute like it's supposed to, right? So let's just X out of here. And here, there's an option. It says there's an option to publish here as well. So just click and I just click publish. And now our Winbook is published. So, and anytime we do that, you'll see the status is always either new or queue. Now, let's just scroll down. Let's go to Runbook. And now let's go to jobs here and see. Since we already have this one. So every time we click on this, it will display the date and the time for today. I apologize for that. My phone is keep ringing. Now, if we go on output here, so so still the status is complete, whereas when as user and create, so the date and time, and there's a date and time, yeah. And so so we didn't really see it run, but we know it's execute because if we were to click on all logs, you can see the output if there were any error messages, warning, or stuff like that. So this was the first error message when I was typing time, get time instead of get date. So let's just click input and see. So you may have an application and it does some type of login and you want to run a partial command against so that to export some logs file somewhere. So really, I always say this is a solution looking for a problem. So it'll let you automate these if if I if I go back to the runbook one, let's see, if I would go down here and click on schedule and say if I would like add a schedule, I can name this schedule and I could specify the day and time, and we could have this one either just once, see the date and time zone. We could either have this to run just once, or if that's what my need require, or if you could have this on a required schedule, so certain day and time, and I could have this, like when every hours with or without any expiration, or I could I could have this one in a recurring schedule, so at expiration we could say like it could run maybe in only run for 2 or 3 days or 30 days or expiration. So it'll just run until you come back. Say if you hit like recurring, you know, you could set the date, time, you could set the expiration to yes or no, you know. You could make this any way that meets your requirement. And say if I were to hit like create, so this is where I'm doing any type of login or anything like that. So it's pretty user friendly, right? So thank you so very much. I appreciate you following along with me. Stay tuned for another lab. In this lab, we kind of work together to create an automation account in a Runbooks in Azure. Thank you. I'll see you in the next.